Enrico Red Dizon was a police officer in the Philippine National Police. In 1991, he was convicted for many crimes that included double murder and kidnapping. He was given 3 life sentences, which amounts to 120 years, or reclusion perpetual. He's an inmate now in New Bilibid prison. He tells his own story of reformation and conversion from idolatry and Catholicism to Christ in his own personal written testimony that is included in the book Trojan Warriors, testimony number 25. There is also an introductory video about his life and a personal video interview that he made in New Bilibid prison in October 2001. He introduces his story as following by saying, "When the controversial case hit the headlines of the major newspapers, tabloids, and the radio and television network in the 90s, I did not bother to tell my commanding officer or other superior officers in our units. This unit being the Intelligence and Investigation Section of 172 2nd PC COI, based in San Fernando, Pampanga, in Recom 3. I still did my duties knowing that I could elude arrest. I was confident that I would not be implicated, for I knew that the crime was perfect. I stayed in the safe house. One afternoon my youngest son, Kent Lester, 6 months old, suffered a convulsion. His eyeballs were white, violet skin, and not breathing any more. I cried, help, to the Lord, sincerely for the first time in my life, to please restore my son Kent, who was now a grade 6 student, healthy and intelligent boy. He was clinically dead, for he had no pulse, it had stopped. I prayed to God, crying, please forgive all my sins. I even promised to go for good and start a new life. As I finished my prayer, God answered my prayer. My child's life was restored. And the same day, I promised myself to confess to my wife that I am guilty of the crime of the century, as tagged by the media. That evening, while my wife was watching the television news about the case, I came near her, embraced her very tightly and kissed her, then, with grumbling, shattering voice, told her that I am one of the killers, and it was about time to surrender and face the consequences. My wife lost consciousness, and when she regained her consciousness, she cried again. That night, I went to our office to voluntarily surrender myself to my superiors. That was the 15th of January, 1991. I spent the night in prayer. Then I realised when you're at the end of yourself, that is the beginning of God." Please read the rest of my testimony, testimony 25, in the book Trojan Warriors.